Okay, so good morning again. I'd like to bring you greetings. My name is Eric Miller. I'm the Contracting and Compliance Manager in the Equity and Inclusion Department. I'm here before you today at this exciting time as we're able to bring back Med Week. Last year, we were unable to come together and celebrate this important time in our community, but we're excited that due to technology and really an opportunity that we all didn't want to pass up, we decided to come together today and celebrate. So I would like to bring you greetings and a few things administrative wise. The fact that this is a webinar, most of the attendees won't have full Zoom capabilities. So you will be unable to unmute yourself and manipulate the camera, but you will be able to view all of the events. The panelists have been provided with access to those capabilities. So you, at any time that you're on the agenda that you have, that you'll be making remarks, you'll have the ability to share your screen, mute yourselves, and also manipulate your camera. So just wanted to put that out there. If you have any questions or run across any challenges, please feel free to use the chat box. We have a support staff available to kind of assist you with those issues. Now, in terms of another administrative item, because of bandwidth issues for those who are panelists, we are asking that you disable your camera if you're not currently presenting, just because we do have challenges with bandwidth from time to time, and that does help to assist when we encounter those challenges. So thank you all in advance for accommodating that request. So in terms of why we're here today, this is a unique opportunity for us as a community to continue to support the accomplishments and achievements of our minority business communities. We've had a series of events that we will be using to highlight that. The first was the Meet the Team event that we had last night, which we was excited that we was able to come together and provide access to connect with some of the collaboration partners that have committed to supporting the work within the city and the county alike. Today we have the Med Week Luncheon. Tomorrow, we're going to be able to come together and talk about some of the regional and local economic growth that the city is experiencing and how you as a business owner can try to gain access and be able to participate in some of that growth as well. Thursday night, we're going to have a minority business fair where you'll be allowed the opportunity to basically provide a 1 to 2 minute pitch about some of the things, products and services that you provide. Use that as an opportunity to connect with potential suitors for your services. And then on Friday, we're going to close out this week's event with a discussion about cybersecurity threats and some of the things that we can do in terms of preventative measures to protect against those threats that have really been more prevalent here in the last few years. So what I'm going to do now is transition this portion of the ceremony over to my colleague at the county, Keisha Davis, and she's going to give us the occasion. Thank you, Keisha. And then she's going to be followed by Tammy Hall, the director at the North Carolina Hub Office.
Thank you, Eric. I'm happy to be here. My name is Keisha Davis. I am the Durham County MWBE coordinator, and I would like to share the occasion with you. Why Minority Enterprise Development Midweek matters. Since 1983, the President of the United States has proclaimed a National Midweek observance to recognize the outstanding accomplishments of minority business enterprises and to honor those corporations and financial institutions supporting minority business development. Durham's Midweek affirms local government, business, and community organizations' commitment to economic equity and inclusion. The mission of the Midweek in the city of Durham is to recognize and celebrate the contributions and achievements of minority and women-owned businesses. This past year has not been without its challenges. However, we continue to strive forward in our collaborative efforts to virtually present this week's series of events to encourage minority enterprise development and continued growth. The theme of Durham's Midweek this year is Thriving Through Adversity. This year's Midweek is even more special to those of us who have come together to collaborate and plan this year's event because our Midweek leader, the esteemed director of the City of Durham's Department of Equity and Inclusion, Ms. Deborah Giles, is retiring next year, and this will be her last Midweek leading us. Ms. Giles has been a leader, a mentor, a friend, and a fierce advocate for minority enterprise development for many years, and no midweek occasion would be complete without us giving Deborah her flowers while she can still see them, and saying thank you, Deborah, for your leadership and guidance. I will now turn things over to the Director of the Hub Office, Ms. Tammy Hall. Thank you.
Good morning, and thank you so much, Keisha. Thanks, Eric, for the invite. You know, it's always a privilege to be here and participate in Durham's Midweek. Why? Because Durham is my home, and Durham is where I have lived. My kids have gone to school there, and it is just a great place to thrive and prosper. So it is most privileged for me to be here, participate and support Deborah in all that she has done for the city of Durham. So with that being said, I am here today to share with you that for every year under Governor Cooper's leadership, we have increased our spend with minority and women-owned businesses. That is a huge plus. That could not have been done without many of you that are participating this morning with us as we celebrate. I look forward to seeing many of you on Friday as well as we open the MBDA, Minority Business Development Agency Center here in North Carolina in the RTP. This is such a huge honor for the Hub office, and I look forward to celebrating it as well with you. So now I will present to you, and my team, my staff will put in our chat the proclamation from Governor Roy Cooper. Roy Cooper, Governor, Minority Enterprise Development Month 2021 by the Governor of the great state of North Carolina, a proclamation. Whereas diverse entrepreneurship encourages progress towards innovative solutions to the problem of economic growth and stability, and supports the promise of thriving communities that embrace inclusion and a better life for all families. And whereas the state of North Carolina recognizes minority-owned businesses as key drivers of economic success at the national, state, and local levels, and the urgency to aid such businesses in post-pandemic recovery. And whereas COVID-19 has disproportionately impacted communities of color across the United States, many of these individuals experience higher illness and death rates and more severe economic ramifications. And minority-owned businesses have also declined across the country, as many are unable to financially stay afloat due to the pandemic. And whereas, according to a report from the Stafford Institute for Economic Policy Research, from February to April of 2020, the number of active business owners in the US decreased by 22%, the largest on record since the onset of the pandemic. Black-owned businesses declined by 41%. Latino-owned businesses decreased by 32%. Asian-owned businesses dropped by 26%. And women-owned businesses fell by 25% nationwide. And whereas the Andrea Harris Social, Economic, Environmental, and Health Equity Task Force was established under Executive Order number 143 to address the social, environmental, economic, and health disparities in communities of color disproportionately impacted by COVID-19 in North Carolina. The Department of Administration's Office of Historically Underutilized Businesses, better known as the Hub Office, will operate the first North Carolina State Business Enterprise Program to promote the usage and support of small contractors and minority-owned businesses to competitively participate in procurement opportunities within the state of North Carolina. Whereas the North Carolina Department of Transportation, NCDOT, Office of Civil Rights, is committed to enforcing federal laws, state laws, regulations that prohibit discrimination for customers and employees participating in North Carolina transportation programs that receive federal and/or state funding. And whereas The state of North Carolina recognizes and celebrates the achievements of minority-owned businesses and encourages participation in programs that will honor the contributions of minority-owned businesses and impact the expansion of access to economic opportunity statewide. Now, therefore, I, Roy Cooper, Governor of the state of North Carolina, do hereby proclaim October 2021 as Minority Enterprise Development Month in North Carolina and commend its observance to all citizens. Thank you, and I will turn this back over to Eric Miller. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Hall. Now we're going to have greetings and proclamations from the Mayor, Steve Schull.
Very much, Mr. Miller. It's great to be here with you all. I really appreciated Ms. Hall's proclamation from the governor. I want to say that Tammy Hall represents the city of Durham on the Raleigh-Durham Airport Authority, and we're really proud to have her as our representative. Before I read the proclamation, I want to just say two things. First of all, this is the first time I have publicly heard the announcement about Ms. Giles' retirement. Ms. Giles, could you come on the screen for a moment? If you don't know Deborah Giles, and most of you do, you are missing knowing a great leader. I have known Ms. Giles for decades, Ms. Giles, and worked closely with her for many years in her capacity on the county commission and with the city. And she is a wonderful leader. And I so appreciated the words that have already been spoken about her as a mentor and a leader. And Ms. Giles, you will be sorely, sorely missed in the city. But I know you're heading for a well-deserved retirement. And that means you and I can have a cup of tea together. And I look forward to it. But thank you so much for your service. It has been extraordinary. And I just wanted to appreciate that.
Thank you so much for your kind words.
I also will say that we have, this year has taught us many things. And Ms. Hall's, what Ms. Hall read about the loss of minority and women-owned businesses is critically important. And one of the things that we did this year during the pandemic was with our friends from Duke University and our friends from the county, we put together $3 million, actually later on added some CARES Act funding, about $3.5 million, to assist small businesses. And more than 2/3 of those businesses were women-owned and more than 2/3 were minority-owned, most of them African-American owned. And we assisted those businesses to get through the pandemic. More than 250 small businesses, and I'm very proud of that. But what it says to me is it shows the way for what we can do in the future. This can't be a pandemic only, something we do only during pandemics. We have to figure out ways to get much needed capital to women-owned, Black and brown-owned businesses, and I know that we can do that here in Durham. So now my proclamation. Whereas one of the city's primary goals is to have a strong and diverse economy which reduces poverty and enhances the quality of life of its residents. And whereas through ingenuity, innovation, and tenacity, many minority and women entrepreneurs have courageously met the challenges posed by the pandemic and are shining examples of the 2021 Minority Enterprise Development Week theme, Thriving Through Adversity. And whereas minority and women-owned businesses are helping to power the engine of economic recovery for the city, state, and nation. And whereas the city of Durham is committed to the ongoing evaluation of its policies, procedures, and practices so that its business is conducted in a manner that ensures minority and women businesses receive equitable access to all available opportunities. And whereas minority and women entrepreneurs are to be honored, not only as valued resources for the provision of goods and services, but as vital to our economic success. Now, therefore, I, Stephen M. Schull, Mayor of the City of Durham, North Carolina, do hereby proclaim October 4th to 8th, 2021 as Minority Enterprise Development Week in Durham, and hereby urge all residents to take special note of this observance, participate in many scheduled activities, and fully utilize the wide array of minority and women business enterprises in our community. Witness my hand this the 4th day of October 2021, Stephen M. Schull, Mayor. So again, thank you all so much for being here today. Thank you for including me in this wonderful occasion, and I look forward to the rest of the activities for Minority Enterprise Development.
Thank you, Mayor Schull, for those comments and reading of the proclamation. It was very much appreciated. Next, we're going to move on, and we're going to have readings and proclamations from County Commission Chairwoman Brenda Howerton.
Good morning, everyone. It is indeed a pleasure to be with you this morning. And I too want to extend my congratulations to Deborah Giles in retirement, and knowing Deborah for quite some time. It's absolutely a joy to know her, and knowing that she's begun to take some time for her. And I know, and take care of those grandbabies. So congratulations, Deborah. So, and as the mayor talked about the funding, the business, I just want you to know it was a collaboration between the city and the county, and it never is enough. It never is enough that we do for our businesses. So the proclamation, Durham Board of County Commissioners proclamation, Minority Enterprise Development Week 2021. Whereas it is a policy of the County of Durham that purchasing by the county and contracts with the county be open to all people and be free of discrimination on the basis of race and gender. Whereas the Durham County Minority and Women Enterprise Ordinance, Section 8-132, provides minorities and women equal opportunity to participate in all aspects of the county's contracting programs, including but not limited to employment, construction projects, and/or materials and service contracts consistent with the law. And whereas diverse entrepreneurship encourages progress toward innovative solutions to the problem of economic growth, and supports the promise of thriving communities that embrace inclusion and a better life for all families. And whereas, according to the Stafford Institute of Economic Policy Research, the impacts of the COVID-19 have contributed to a staggering 41% drop in African-American business owners, 32% decline in Latinx business owners, 22% in Asian business owners, and a 25% reduction in women-owned businesses nationwide. And whereas GS 143-128 provides for good faith efforts to be made in an effort to ensure fair participation of minority and women businesses owners in all county projects. And whereas it is further the policy of the county to conduct its contracting programs so as to prevent such discrimination, correct present discrimination, and to resolve claims of such discrimination. And whereas the County of Durham is a sponsor of the Minority Enterprise Development Week, and whereas during Minority Enterprise Development Week, we recognize that our county and our economy are strong because of the hardworking men and women who comprise America's minority business community. They constantly demonstrate the courage it takes to overcome adversity, seize opportunity, and contribute to our shared prosperity. Now, therefore, be it resolved, I, Brenda Howerton, Chair of the Board of County Commissioners, and on behalf of the Board of County Commissioners, do hereby proclaim October 4th through 8th, 2020 as Minority Enterprise Development Week. in Durham County, the 27th day of September 2021. Brenda Howerton, Chair of the Board of County Commissioners. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairwoman, Ms. Howerton, for those comments and proclamations. We really do appreciate the involvement of our city and county officials in the process. We understand how much, how busy you all are, so we appreciate you making that time in your schedule to support today's event.
Thank you. I look forward to seeing you in some of the events over the next few days.
Thank you again. And so now we're going to move on to the recognition of our honored guests and sponsors. We're going to have Mary Crawford for Duke assist us with that.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Tammy, and Keisha, as well, for those heartfelt sentiments that we all share as we wish Deborah her best. I would like to warmly welcome and extend special recognition to each person in attendance at this year's virtual MedWeek Honor Ceremony. There are executives, department heads, and staff from federal, state, county, and city governments who are present. Though I'm unable to identify all of you by name, please accept this acknowledgement along with our gratitude that you took the time from your busy schedules to join in this celebration. This year, the sponsors represent entities whose staff participated in planning all of the Durham MedWeek events. A special thanks this year goes to the City of Durham, Durham County Government, Historically Underutilized Business Office, Skanska, Samet Corporation, La Chase, Durham Public Schools, Duke University, Duke Health, SAS, Securance Consulting, LLC, the Greater Durham Black Chamber of Commerce, the Greater Durham Chamber of Commerce, and the National Institute of Minority Economic Development. From all of us on the MedWeek Planning Committee, please enjoy the celebration today.
Thank you, Mary, for that, for those recognitions. And considering that we're operating in a virtual environment, the importance of the collaboration and the support of our sponsors was key to being able to deliver an event and a week that really highlights, what we're trying to celebrate. And, the significance of those relationships were clearly evident in being able to do something in this environment, which we all felt was important. So I want to extend a special appreciation to those sponsors and planning committee members again. Thank you, Mary. So now we're going to have the introduction of our keynote speaker, and that's going to be done by Denise Barn. She's the Regional Diversity Manager with La Chase Construction. Denise.
Good morning. Thank you, Eric. Good morning, everyone. It is a great honor and a pleasure to be here today, and definitely our honor to introduce our speaker for today. Mike Areola is the District Director of the Small Business Administration. Mike oversees an office that drives economic development by assisting local entrepreneurs with starting and growing their business. He also directs the implementation of SBA programs related to access to capital, business advising, and government contracts. The SBA operations in North Carolina consist of the district office in Charlotte and satellite office in Asheville, Raleigh, and Wilmington. Short and sweet and to the point, so I want you all to please welcome me and give it a warm welcome to Mike Areola.
Thank you so much, Denise, for that introduction, and my thanks to the team for MedWeek 2021 for having me today. It'll give me just a second so that I can share my screen. Okay, it is MedWeek, so I want to welcome everybody and wish you all a very happy MedWeek. It is also, I hope you can see my screen as it transitions. It is also National Hispanic Heritage Month, as well as Women's National Women's Small Business Month. So special welcome to our Hispanic and women-owned small businesses as well. What I'd like to do is give a recap of where we've been the last 18 months in terms of our COVID relief programs and where the SBA is going forward. And so just by way of a recap with all of the various programs that we've had going on, year to date, we've done about 268,000 PPP loans, totaling about 18 billion. In an ordinary non-COVID year, SBA does about 1 billion in lending to all kinds of small businesses through our various SBA loan programs. So we've managed to squeeze 18 years worth of lending into this period since the inception of the PPP program. So far, we've done almost 100,000 direct economic injury disaster loans to help folks recover from the after effects of the COVID pandemic. We've given out 140,000 advances, another 20,000 in targeted advances. That's free money that folks do not have to repay. Shuttered venue operators grants totaling just over 400 for live entertainment venues of all kinds throughout the state of North Carolina. And the Restaurant Revitalization Fund finally went to about 3,000 restaurants and other food service enterprises of all kinds across the state of North Carolina. The only programs that are available now are the Economic Injury Disaster Loan and the associated targeted advance and supplemental targeted advance program. So those are still available, and I'll say a word about those in just a moment. I do want to talk briefly about the PPP program because its reach has been very far and wide, but still towards the inception of the PPP program, I think it was pretty clear that SBA needed to improve its reach to minority and women-owned small businesses. And so that's exactly what we did, particularly with the second round. SBA was very intentional about doing even more outreach to minority communities. We improved our collection of racial and demographic data as well so that we can better assess the degree to which we are reaching minority small businesses. We improved our efforts to reach out to and to actually generate applications from the self-employed. And finally, we did a pretty good job in enlisting lots of community financial institutions to come on board with PPP lending in order to help our minority-owned firms. I want to give a quick update on the COVID EIDL program. This is the one that's still available. We're accepting applications until December 31st. So folks that were not able to get a PPP loan, folks that are a little bit apprehensive about whether or not there's going to be Restaurant Revitalization Fund, I want to let you know that the COVID Economic Injury Disaster Loan program is still very much available up until December 31st. These are very low interest rates, interest rate loans up to 30 years. Plus, your first 2 years of payments are deferred, so you have a 2-year break before the loan payments start to kick in. Again, over 30 years, so the monthly loan payments are very, very low. And small businesses can use COVID EIDL funds for really any ordinary type of working capital purpose. One of the things that we did to enhance this program is that we allowed for the repayment of debt as well. And I'll go into that in the next slide. But you can apply at sba.gov/EIDL. There's a minimum credit score of 570, so we've relaxed that quite a bit. 625 for loans greater than 200,000. Greater than 500,000. We did increase the loan amount from 500,000 to 2 million very recently, and we're going to start approving those up to $2 million applications beginning October 8th. But the part that I really wanted to point out is now you can actually use an economic injury disaster loan to pay off your commercial debt. So if you have relatively high rates of interest that were taken out for business purpose, just know that you can use an economic injury disaster loan to repay that. Going forward, what is my personal outlook for the SBA in terms of our mission for the state of North Carolina? I just covered all of the various COVID relief programs that have been available. I mentioned briefly about the fact that the COVID EIDL program is still available for small businesses as well. But what have we seen at the SBA, and what kinds of things do we need to take into account going forward? And I think it's important for me to let you all know that my personal mission is to insert the SBA in such a way as to make a difference in conversations about income inequality and economic empowerment. Because if there's one thing that we learned from our experience over the last 18 months or so, that is, not everybody has fair and equitable access to capital. And my mandate for myself is to position the SBA in such a way as to be a lot more active in those conversations. And wherever we can, come up with solutions that can provide even better access to capital, because access to capital is an ongoing and an enduring thing that takes into account some of the historic injustices that communities of color have experienced over generations. That has an obvious impact on folks' ability to access capital now. And I guess what I'm saying is that it's important for the SBA to be involved in those conversations, to do what we can to ensure fair and equitable access to sources of capital to small businesses of all kinds, particularly Black and Brown communities. And so with that, my intention is to do even more robust outreach to Black, Hispanic, Asian American, Pacific Islander communities, to women audiences, and to the LGBTQ plus community in particular. And wherever we can, let them know about the programs and services that are available to them. If there's any one thing that comes up in my own discussions with small businesses about the SBA is they sort of know maybe what the SBA does, but they don't know exactly how useful some of our programs can be. So that's what I would like to do, continue to do, even in a more vigorous way, is to let folks know that the SBA is here and available for their assistance. And that means deploying our programs to just these kinds of communities that I mentioned, among which are regular loan programs. SBA loans operate in partnership now with lending partners, not just banks, but also credit unions, financial technology companies, and all of the community development financial institutions that we can enlist. We also have 504 loans that are available for folks wanting to expand, purchase a building, fixtures and equipment at very low rates of interest and with a low down payment. And finally, there are SBA microloans available through qualified intermediary lenders across the state of North Carolina. And you can find them through sba.gov/lender-match. So these programs are going to get a lot more attention over the course of this post-pandemic environment. And at the SBA, we're actually seeing an increase in calls and in emails from folks wanting to know, how do I get a business plan done? Where can I get capital to start my business? What is the best type of SBA loan to expand my business? So it's very heartening and it's very refreshing to see that the volume of calls that we're getting are starting to shift from, hey, I need my PPP loan or I need an EIDL, to more regular types of inquiries. And that's a very good sign that we're seeing in terms of the overall health of the economy. So we've got financing programs available. We've also got certification programs available for folks wanting to tap into the very lucrative federal contracting marketplace. Federal spending amounts to about $700 billion a year for goods and services of all kinds. And our 4 primary programs can help make those happen for our small businesses. Our flagship 8A Business Development Program, where there is a preference target of 3% of all contracting dollars, should go to socially and economically disadvantaged businesses, such as those under our 8A program. The Hub Zone program has a preference target of 3% also of all federal contracting dollars. Women-owned small businesses, 5%, and service-disabled veteran-owned small businesses can take advantage of 3% of all federal contracting dollars. The percentages seem a little bit small, but when we're talking about contracting opportunities of several $100 billion, the opportunities for procurement contracting are actually pretty significant. And what the SBA does is we help with the certification of these small businesses so that they can tap into this $700 billion a year marketplace. So that is available for folks as well. And finally, we have an entire ecosystem of counseling and training resources. We have the Small Business and Technology Development Center, which is a partnership between the SBA and the University of North Carolina system, with 15 SBTDCs across the state, full-time paid counselors to help with all aspects of starting and expanding a business. We also have the 10 chapters of SCORE, which are volunteer mentors. We have the 1 Veteran Business Outreach Center at Fayetteville State University for our veterans audiences. And finally, we have the 5 women's business centers across the state of North Carolina in Charlotte, Fayetteville, Asheville, Durham, and most recently at Winston-Salem State University, our very first SBA Women's Business Center to be co-located at an HBCU, and we're very excited to have them on board. So going forward, I would say that our mission, the SBA's mission, broadly speaking, is to insert the SBA, like I said, in conversations, excuse me, of economic empowerment across the state of North Carolina through our financing programs, excuse me, through our federal procurement programs, and finally through the counseling and technical assistance that we provide through the SBA, as well as through our various partners, so that we can make a difference in the lives, particularly of our minority-owned businesses. And so with that, I want to thank you so much for having me today. I wish you all, again, a happy Medweek, and visit us sometime at sba.gov/NC. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Mr. Areola, for that insightful and informative message. On behalf of those in attendance, I would certainly like to extend our appreciation for taking the time to share that information with us. For me, a few takeaways. I think there's a certain intentionality that we need to have in our approach to ensure that the targeted assistance is reaching those intended communities. It's important that I think people are aware that there are still loan programs out there to support our business owners as you try to transition out of the impacts from the COVID pandemic. And also, be knowledgeable of local resources. A lot of times, I think we lose sight of the impacts that our communities have and the resources that they can provide to support our efforts moving forward. And then I think it's a hopeful takeaway for us that maybe we are getting to a point where we can transition out of some of the needs that we were encountered with during the pandemic and focus on really building more sustainable operations moving forward and being able to tap into the expertise and resources that are available for all of us. So thank you again, Mr. Areola, for your presentation and for your time as well. So now what we're going to do is transition over to the awards presentation portion of the ceremony. And Mr. Areola is sharing information about the slide presentation and the SBA resources in the chat for those who are interested. So now we're going to transition over to the awards presentation, which is going to be headed up by Dan Stafford. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Eric. And also, again, thank you, Director Areola, for that great informative information. As I said, I'm Dan Stafford with the National Institute of Economic Development. Some may not still be familiar with the name, which is still as was the North Carolina Institute of Minority Economic Development, where I've been there many years in the MBDA Minority Business Programs and the SBA Women Business Center programs. But we want to focus today on the event, which is really if I can say it, is really the heart and soul of Medweek, where you get down to the actual businesses that have put in the grit and the effort to get things done. I mean, as we know, there's probably over 9.2 million minority business enterprises around in the United States that support jobs and generate more than over 1.8 trillion in our economy every year. And during Minority Enterprise Development Week, our nation recognized the importance of these minority businesses, the impact they've had on our communities. As Keisha had mentioned earlier, of course, you know that Medweek was initiated in 1983. It's been a growing and sustainable event on national, regional, and local levels. In Medweek, we recognize those hardworking minority men and women who have comprised America's minority business community, where they've demonstrated the courage where it takes to overcome adversity, seize opportunities, contribute to the shared prosperity. And locally here in the city of Durham, the city itself has been the forefront in North Carolina as an advocate of minority businesses through the Medweek observances. The city of Durham, through Deborah Giles' leadership, has kept minority and women-owned the business community challenges, opportunities, impact alive, and is a vital part of North Carolina's economy. Now, because of this sustained commitment, we have seen over the years grassroots minority enterprise events that have arisen in other North Carolina communities, whether they be Charlotte, Asheville, Greensboro, Greenville, Fayetteville, Jacksonville, Raleigh, Wilmington, Shelby, and it keeps going on and on. So to Mr. Giles and to the city of Durham, we are extremely grateful and always will be to your steadfast devotion to this cause. So let us now celebrate some of these local business successes. And we will have a tie here in our first category. And let me go ahead and probably mention too, that of course, since we are virtual, which means we are not physical, these awards will be actually mailed to the recipients later on after the event. Shelley McFader began Bridgepoint General Contracting in 2007. Today, Bridgepoint has grown into 3 companies: Bridgepoint Construction Services, Bridgepoint General Contracting, and Bridgepoint Civil, all with a combined revenues of over $30 million. Bridgepoint, based in Durham, North Carolina, is a woman-owned sub-hub certified firm focusing on commercial and healthcare renovations. Now, the firm has also been a contractor for Duke for many, many years, and their relationship there is strong. It's a we are always in this together mentality that ensures projects are completed correctly, on time, and they willingly will make sure they'll go those extra miles to ensure tenants and others are not interrupted in the work as it progresses and goes on. The companies received the Durham Magazine's 2021 Best in Durham Award, the 2020 Triangle Business Journal Fast 50 Award, 2019 Triangle Business Journal Leadership Triangle Impact Award, and many others. Shelley would be consider herself is a commanding female success in a male-dominated industry, being what construction is. She's found that people have asked her these questions over and over. What's it like being a woman at the construction table? Which now just makes her kind of laugh and respond, not belonging to the table. Well, my gosh, that never ever crossed my mind. So let's switch congratulations to Bridgepoint General Contracting, Ms. Shelley McFader, for the Durham 2021 Medwick Outstanding Achievement Award in Construction. If there's a way that we can.
Yeah. Hey, thank you very much.
There you are. There you are.
Yeah, very thrilled to have been nominated by Mary and Duke. We have been doing a lot of work for them. It was just, I was thrilled to get nominated for the award, and just wanted to say thank you to so many people that are on this call. Deborah Giles, for sure, in the early days of me getting started, helping to make sure that, you know, I had all my paperwork done, that we were staying on top of it, and to like bring us into awareness of opportunities that were there. Eric as well, and Tammy Hall, both supporters of Bridgepoint. Thank you very much. You know, I always just wanted to grow a company that, one, people wanted to work at. And I do think I have a very strong staff, and in a very busy market, you know, they stick with me. And I think it's about culture. And then I think that culture translates to our clients. And luckily we do a lot of private work, but we've done work for Durham Public Schools, for the city of Durham, for Wake Tech, for NC State. So we do dabble in the public realm as well. But anyhow, I just want to say thank you very much. We're very thrilled for the recognition.
Thank you, Shelley. Thank you so much. Okay. Durham-based firm SGS Contracting, founded 2014, is a licensed general contractor in North Carolina and South Carolina. The firm's a mission to transform designs into reality by following core values of integrity, trust, customer service, effectively executing those projects and developing lasting relationships. As president, Brant Smith has over 15 years construction management experience, has worked in numerous industries in fields of the K-12 schools, the higher education, research laboratories, hospitality, municipal, mixed use properties, parking structures. I mean, very versatile activities. Raised in Durham, graduation from Hillside High School, finance degree out of Hampton University, master's in construction management from Western Carolina University. And I have to pause and wish a shout out to a fellow Western Carolina University alumni. It is our time, we've risen now. Brant saw the rising construction growth impact in Durham and decided Durham would be the home, SGS. Right, for a while now, SGS has had a growing relationship with Chase Construction, working on UNC, Duke, and Durham Public School projects. So another congratulations, if you will, to SGS Construction, Brant Smith of the Durham 2021 Medwick Outstanding Achievement Award in Construction. Thank you, Brant. Thank you there, Brant.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity and the acknowledgement. I'd like to thank LaChase for nominating me in the city of Durham. Glad to be a part of Med Week. Look forward to continue to grow in SGS and building Durham. I'd like to also thank Eric Miller. He was part of starting. He was there when I first started SGS, and he has assisted us in growing SGS, and we look forward to continuing to grow in the future.
Okay, again, thanks to SGSC's construction. Evoke is a Durham-based architectural firm specializing in architecture, design, visioning, and master planning. Its principals are licensed in North Carolina, Georgia, South Carolina, Virginia, Tennessee, Texas. And Evoke believes that the remarkable architecture enhances the lives of its occupants. They've done that directly on projects through places such as North Carolina Central University, the Box Yard, and Durham Public Schools. And equally important to their designs is their community engagement with organizations in the area, such as the Durham Smart Initiative, United Minority Contractors of North Carolina, Durham Rotary Club, Durham Chamber of Commerce, Preservation Durham, the Minister for Stephen Ministries, and Big Brothers Big Sisters. They've had a relationship with for many years going on here, working with Duke University, Durham Public School, elementary projects. So would you wish congratulations to Evoke Architecture, Terry Canada, for Durham 2021 Midweek Outstanding Achievement Award in Professional Services.
I do not believe that Ms. Canada is in attendance today.
Good. Okay. Well, Eric Miller will accept the award from Ms. Canada on her behalf. Atlantis Graphics, which is doing business as Universal Printing and Publishing, under Bob Moore, has been serving the Triangle since 1999. Universal provides design, print, mailing, communication services to the firms throughout the Triangle area. Moore started the business in 1979 in Cameron Village, in the Cameron Village area in Raleigh, in a 400 square foot space. But he's always stayed on top of innovative technology, and now the business sits in a 17,000 square foot facility out in Resource Triangle Park. Also adding fulfillment and warehousing services to expanding list. The very instrumental to Duke University during the early days, as well as continued days now of the COVID pandemic, providing staffing plans, contingency staffing plans, to making sure timely delivery of medical forms were able for Duke's progress and procedures. Universal's value promise to its customers is unyielding, making you look better on paper on time. So congratulations to Bob Moore, Atlantic Graphics, doing business at Universal Printing for Durham 2021 Medwick Outstanding Achievement Award, non-professional services. Joe Moyer would be accepting in Bob Moore's behalf. And we will make sure, again, our congratulations to Universal Printing and Publishing. We'll make sure they definitely will receive their award. Keisha Davis has been with the Durham County government since 2012. Currently serves as the Minority and Women Business Enterprise Coordinator for Durham County's Minority and Women Business Enterprise Program. She is the county's internal departments and external minority and women business owners communications. She facilitates minority women business enterprise training, outreach events, working with private sector counterparts that want to do business with the county to ensure there's a strong understanding and adherence to the county's MWBE program At the same time, she strives to provide these business enrichment resources to existing and inspiring small minority women-owned firms with desiring to contract with local government, specifically, of course, the Durham County, to help cultivate a more robust small and minority women-owned business community. For Durham, Keisha created a social media presence for the MWB program with the implementation of a dedicated Facebook page, YouTube channel, helped get the Durham County's MWB website up and running. And Keisha's commitment to social equity and a responsive overseeing of Durham County's hub spending has demonstrated her leadership and excellence in promoting and the inclusion and the advancement of minority and women-owned businesses. So to honor, please, Keisha Davis, NWBE Coordinator for Durham County Government for Durham 2021 Individual Diversity Advocate of the Year.
Thank you, Dan, and thank you for to all of my colleagues who nominated me. It has been my honor to serve Durham County government in the capacity that I have as MWBE coordinator, and it has been a privilege to work along with so many of my colleagues. I'd be remiss without mentioning Deborah again, who took me under her wing so many years ago, Tammy Hall, Eric, Denise, so many of you have, it has just been a privilege to work with you all, and to be recognized is a great honor. And my organization, the support that I have received from the commissioners on down, and working with the city, Mayor Schull, with the Bloomberg initiative. I just want to say thank you for the recognition.
Dan, Joe Moy has joined, and maybe you can recognize him now.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, Joe, please go ahead and give a brief statement. Thank you again for on your honor. Outstanding Achievement Award, non-professional services. Okay. Joe, you able to come on?
Joe, you should be able to unmute yourself and turn your camera on so you might be recognized. It appears he's having technical difficulty, so we'll move forward.
All right. Again, congratulations to the Bob Murrah and Joe for that award. That's always the benefits of live TV, isn't it? The National Institute of Economic Development, also formerly known as the North Carolina Institute of Minority Economic Development, also known as the Institute, is a nonprofit economic development organization that for 35 years has helped clients harness the power of diversity to achieve business and economic objectives. The program was founded in 1986 as the North Carolina Institute of Minority Economic Development with a grant from the Z. Smith Reynolds Foundation and the North Carolina Association of Minority Businesses to diversify the North Carolina business base as a strategy for expanding economic opportunity. Business, government, community leaders all recognized then that globalization, changing demographics, technology were rapidly changing the game, replacing traditional industries and markets with new ones that required different skills and strategies. And there was a need to engage significant untapped segments of the population: women, racial and ethnic minorities, people with disabilities, rural residents, and others. This was a business imperative, so the Institute would be the force that would lead the way. And more than 30 years later, the Institute remains the only organization of its kind in the country focusing on economic growth through effective business diversity. North Carolina's model of collaboration and exceptional ecosystem are recognized as a model for other states and regions. Through its 4 primary work centers: Center for Entrepreneurship, Center for Community Investment, Research Policy Center, Center for Professional Services, as well as its documented impact over the years of $1 billion in financial and contractual awards to small and diverse businesses, over 10,000 clients, the creation of over 3,000 jobs. It continues to work with small businesses, supplier diverse firms, organizations, large multinational corporations, local governments, state, federal leaders to open doors of opportunity, create an environment where business of all kinds can grow and thrive. So let's wish, if you would with me now, congratulations to the National Institute of Minority Economic Development, Kevin Price, President and CEO, for the Durham 2021 Midweek Agency Diversity Advocate of the Year.
I don't believe that Mr. Price is logged on. Or is there anyone else who will accept on behalf of the Institute?
I'm not answering that question just yet because I want to see if there's anyone else there at the Institute before I would.
There may be a lot of representation from the Institute, but they don't have the ability to speak in this format.
Okay. Well, then, of course, in lieu of that, in support for Kevin Price and the rest, I accept that award with great honor. Thank you so much. And this is our ending of our award presentations. So I will turn it back to Eric.
Thank you, Dan. And I would like to, on behalf of all of our attendees today, to congratulate again all of the award recipients. It certainly is an accomplishment in light of our current circumstances to be able to succeed dealing with those additional challenges that most small business owners confront on a regular day. These obstacles that we've been confronted with over the past few years have certainly made things more of a struggle. And so we want to, again, extend our congratulations to all of the awardees, the well-deserved recipients. And thank you again, Dan. So we have reached the portion of our program where we really want to, again, thank you all who have been involved in the pulling together this event in the virtual format. As you see, there are always challenges when you're dealing with these events live. And we do hope to be able to recognize and provide notification to those individuals who were unable to attend today. And for those who weren't, that we did accept the award on their behalf, we would certainly like to extend appreciation on their behalf to the committee as well. And so in terms of closing comments, there's a few things that I wanted to highlight. Again, I want to thank Mr. Areola for that very poignant message. I think the timing is relevant and it really resonates with some of the things that we are dealing with as a community. And I think it's important that we continue to keep all of this in context and see how we fit in the process and how we can support continuing the work. Also, again, I would like to extend congratulations to all of the award recipients and to highlight again where we are in this week's event in terms of events and what we have slated for the remainder of the week. We'll close out today the luncheon ceremony. Tomorrow, we'll have a discussion about the regional and economic growth that we're seeing in the area and some of the ways that we as business owners and advocates and just interested individuals can find out about what's going on in our community and how we can participate. Then we're going to have the Minority Business Fair, followed by the cybersecurity discussion, which is very important and I'm looking forward to myself. Also, in terms of where we're at, we're certainly at a point in our communities where it's important that we continue to support one another. And that's really the message of this week. We want to figure out what we can do as collaborative partners to continue the work, find out creative, innovative ways that we can support one another, create more sustainable partnerships and be able to establish relationships that can go long beyond, where we're at today. And to that end, I think we're making a lot of steps in that direction. And so I really want to thank you all for your attendance, because it makes it possible for us to continue to do the work of the support. And I would be remiss if I didn't again extend my recognition of Ms. Giles and the impact that she's had on all of us in this space, and her contributions to the community and to the individuals in Durham more specifically. I think she certainly left an impression on those that she's encountered. She certainly is going to leave behind a legacy, and it's something that we should continue to celebrate. And I think that we all, in that vein, could continue the work and show our support by continuing to support what she started to build in our own ways. So I'd like to thank you all again. This event is being live streamed, and a lot of the information that was shared via the panelist and presenter is also going to be accessible via links in the chat. So feel free to access those. If you have any questions, have any follow-up feedback that you would like to share, certainly our committee will be around for the remainder of the week in all of our events. So please pull one of us aside, reach out to us, and let's continue the conversation. Thank you again, and look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. And that event tomorrow will begin. That's going to be the regional. So I want to make sure that I have. And so that event actually will be utilizing the Zoom link that we sent out for the Monday event as well. So if you have that one, it will be the same Zoom link that we'll be utilizing. And that event will begin promptly at 1 o'clock, and that'll go to 2 p.m. So if there's nothing else, I would like to thank you all again and look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you.